Get ready to have your minds blown away because today we are going on an exciting ride with the all-new Fedora 40. The latest and greatest release of Fedora is upon us, and it's jam-packed with new features, major improvements, and some big changes under the hood. Fedora 40 is a mega release because it's a huge jump up in the evolution of this super popular Linux distro. Hardcore Linux enthusiasts will be stoked to see the newest KDE Plasma version 6 here. There's Gnome 46, a brand new Linux kernel, and many more things under the hood. I've been playing with Fedora 40 ever since the beta version dropped, and let me tell you, this is a game changer. Every new version of Fedora is an iterative improvement, but this time, Fedora developers have outdone themselves for this big release. And there are some crucial changes as well that are going to alter the way you use Fedora. You must know about these things if you plan to continue using Fedora in the future. So let's jump right into the exciting world of Fedora 40 and see everything that's new in this incredible release. Trust me, this is one release that you absolutely don't want to miss. Having a good knowledge of Linux commands and being comfortable using the terminal really broadens what you can do with Linux and what kind of experience you are going to get here. So if you're interested in leveling up your Linux game, definitely check out my course Linux Mastery Express, which is the fastest way to learn Linux and start using Linux like a pro. I'll teach you a set of commands that will give you the confidence to use Linux without even a graphical user interface. Then we'll dive deep and learn how to use the V editor and master shell scripting with real life examples. After teaching more than 100 students in person, I've curated this course with the top things that will level up your Linux skills the fastest. So if you're feeling like your Linux game is stuck in the same spot for too long and you're ready to take your Linux skills to the next level quickly, check out the link in the description below and get your Linux Mastery Express. We are running a massive 45% discount right now, so make use of it. Fedora 40 brings the all-new Gnome 46 desktop. Gnome 46 is the newest version of the premier desktop environment and brings in many polishing touches. The Gnome 40 series has been seeing iterative improvements with every new version. There are touch-ups, feature upgrades, and a lot happening with Gnome desktop in general. The newest Gnome 2 brings some cool things to Fedora. First of all, the Files app has been upgraded with a global search. You can use the new search icon here to quickly find anything in your files, and this is really fast as it uses indexed search. The responsiveness of showing results here is so fast that at times it feels like it knows exactly what you want. And remember, this is searching your entire home directory for files. To search for files and folders in the current directory, you can use the search button on the right side. The Settings app also receives many updates. Settings have been made easier to navigate now by reorganizing and consolidating settings. A new system section has been created here, grouping together settings for region and language, date and time, users, remote desktop, secure shell, and about. The online accounts part has been completely revamped under the hood. Now we also get OneDrive support. And when you log in, instead of a web window here, the sign-in takes place in your default browser. This is very good for security and convenient too. The remote desktop option uses the RDP protocol and it even supports remote system login. Mouse and touchpad settings have been improved and now an option to disable the touchpad when typing is provided. This simple toggle is going to be very beneficial in certain apps and games. The notification cards have also been redesigned. The cards now show the app name as well as the icon of the app that's sending the notification, and these can now be collapsed and expanded. This is great both visually as well as functionally. Now you can just collapse notifications and keep them there to attend to them later on. Gnome 46 also defaults to the new NGL renderer, which is just faster and allows for better app performance. Apart from these, Gnome 46 brings in many polishing retouches in the user interface to tune up that modern look. Overall, the inclusion of Gnome 46 in Fedora 40 is a fantastic update that brings top-class computing experience to its users. But this is not even the biggest desktop update that Fedora 40 brings. KDE Plasma 6, which is the next major version of the fan-favorite desktop, debuts with Fedora 40. Plasma desktop is jumping from version 5 to 6 with this update. We are seeing big changes in the design language, a futuristic redesign of the desktop elements, and many new things. There are many things here, so let's quickly go over them. Firstly, Plasma 6 defaults to a floating panel here by default instead of an edge-to-edge panel. This is a subtle but big design overhaul to a core component of the desktop, and this is an upgrade. Smooth curves and slight padding from the screen edges. I really like this. This panel subtly moves and converts to an edge-to-edge panel when there are full-screen apps and if any window comes in contact with it. This is just ingenious. The task switcher that pops up when you press Alt plus Tab now gets a huge makeover. Now instead of a vertical switcher panel that we had, we get a switcher in the center of the screen. we see the screenshot of the window itself, a big icon of the application and the application window. Then, double clicking has been set as the default behavior in Plasma now. So now you can open folders and files just like on every other computing system on the face of the earth. Plasma 6 also defaults to Wayland display server instead of X11. Plasma 6 is also powered by an updated engine under the hood. It's created using the Qt6 framework, which brings in many new things on the technical forefront. Plasma 6 also brings improved support for Flatpaks in its software store, Discover. It now makes it easier to browse, search, install and manage Flatpak applications. This is great since there is a very close relationship between Flatpaks and Fedora. There are many more updates to KDE Plasma, but let's not make this a Plasma 6 video, so let's stop at these highlights and continue on with Fedora 40. But if you want, you can check out this video for a detailed overview of everything new in KDE Plasma 6 and see if you should jump ship from Gnome to Plasma 6. Alright, moving on. The new Fedora is powered by the Linux kernel version 6.8. Now this is going to be the next LTS version of Linux kernel and it comes with some big improvements and enhancements. With a huge set of driver updates, you can expect a performance boost on Fedora 40 thanks to this kernel. AMD is the star of this show as this kernel brings updates to many AMD drivers. AMD CPUs and GPUs receive many enhancements this time around, boosting the performance and battery life. There are many new features for AMD users here like AMD Dynamic Boost Control, which gives you more control over your device's performance profile. Then there's the AMD freezing panel replay support, which will make your laptop smoother in certain situations. Thermal management has been retuned here and this is going to result in a more balanced performance delivery on laptops using both Intel and AMD processors, and better battery life as well. Linux 6.8 also introduces the EEVDF scheduler. Now schedulers are a huge factor in what kind of performance you are going to get, and EEVDF has made a lot of noise in the community. So this is another great update. This new scheduler promises improved performance, reduced latency and better efficiency. Overall, Fedora 40 comes with a power-packed engine under the hood and it's gonna deliver a punchy computing experience. Fedora 40 introduces or rebrands a family of its spins. You might know about Fedora Silverblue and Fedora Kionite, which are typically known as the immutable versions of Fedora. Now the popularity of these immutable distros has been growing and more spins like Sway and Budgie are available in these variants. But the thing is, while these are based on Fedora's RPM Austri, they are nonetheless not immutable per se. Rather, Fedora developers feel that atomic is the better word to describe these, and I agree. So what does it mean for us? These are hardened Fedora versions that are harder to break. These atomic spins handle updates in a different way. The root file system itself is read-only most of the times, so it cannot be tampered with. When installing updates, they use atomic update mechanism, which basically downloads updates, processes them and applies the update. And if, and only if the entire process goes smoothly, the updates are applied to the system. If there are any issues, the updates are discarded and you have your previous system fully available for work. There's no breakage and boot up issues with this tech. Atomic updates make updates even more reliable on Linux system. Updates don't break your system here. So Fedora Silverblue is your regular Fedora with GNOME desktop plus this atomicity. Fedora Kionite is Fedora plus KDE Plasma plus atomicity. Then there's a similar Sway variant and the Budgie variant. This family might grow in the future. I think rebranding of the Silverblue family is a great move as it makes things clearer now. Job well done in marketing these. Moving on to some big under the hood changes and improvements. Fedora 40 improves IPv6 address conflict detection using ACD tech. The older IPv4 protocol uses this by default, and even Fedora allowed ACD to be turned on but kept it turned off by default. What this does is, it prevents address conflicts on your network, consequently making the networks more stable. When duplicate IP addresses are present in a network, people may experience connectivity issues, and these kinds of issues are generally very hard to diagnose and correct. Now, ARP probes are sent to every IP that the system wants to use beforehand, so conflicts are avoided altogether. This also mitigates the risk of security vulnerabilities, however small it may be. Although we were expecting to see DNF5 in Fedora 40, it has been postponed for a later release, probably F41. But at the same time, Fedora developers will start using DNF5 to package stuff, so they'll get a feel for its stability. DNF is the package manager here in Fedora, like apt in Ubuntu. You use it to install and manage software on Fedora, but you can download and install DNF5 and use that. I've used DNF5 beta and let me tell you, it's significantly faster than the DNF we get by default. DNF5 is written in C++ as opposed to DNF that we currently have, which is written in Python. so there is a significant difference in the code execution speed itself. Then, DNFi also ditches file lists, which is a feature not used by many packages but negatively impacted the download speeds of packages. Overall, DNFi is a big update over the older DNF, and this will vastly improve package management on Fedora. I was saddened to see it skipped in Fedora 40. Fedora 40 brings PyTorch to its official repositories. With all the AI advancements and the news that we are seeing, this is a great move. PyTorch is a very popular open source Python framework that is widely used for machine learning applications like image and speech recognition, natural language processing, and other AI applications. With AI development taking off like anything and Fedora being a top distro preferred by developers, this inclusion is a good move as PyTorch is now going to be readily available for quick installation and more integrated into the Fedora ecosystem. The current build of PyTorch provided here supports CPU usage only and doesn't support accelerator hardware like GPUs, but I expect that to be upgraded very soon as well. By taking a step in facilitating AI development, I think Fedora aims to become a favorite in this field of work, and that's great. Fedora 40 upgrades the popular downloading tool Wget with its successor Wget 2. And with this update, your download speeds will double and GTA 5 will be downloaded in 10 minutes. Nah, just kidding. Your download speeds will vastly remain the same. Wget 2 is more of a technical and architectural update. It's built using a new underlying library called libwget 2. The primary motivation to upgrade from Wget to Wget 2 is to switch to a more actively developed and modern tool. Wget 2 is also more modular, so it's more adaptable to new protocols and networking technologies that may evolve in the future. While using Wget will be vastly the same, that is for people who download files using the terminal, but some advanced options may change here and there. But I think that a little bit learning curve here is worth it considering Wget 2 will be around for a long time. Fedora 40 introduces many under the hood changes like system dehardening for better security. This change is designed to isolate and sandbox system services, providing an additional layer of protection against potential security threats. Fedora 40 also brings in a new stable SSID mode as the default for assigning MAC addresses to Wi-Fi connections in Network Manager. This move promotes user privacy by selecting different MAC addresses for different networks. This will prevent passive monitoring by ISPs to an extent. Fedora 40 also brings updates to a large set of packages, bringing up the version numbers for many software, languages, libraries, and a lot more. Firefox browser provided here jumps up to version 123, Golang to version 1.22, LLVM to 18.0, Ruby 3.3, and many more. Talking about other desktops, XFC version remains on 4.18, but Budgie and others get an upgrade here. Fedora ensures that you get an up-to-date computing experience powered by the latest technologies and advancements with the F40 update. Fedora is a phenomenal operating system and I really enjoy using it. I'm really stoked for the Fedora 40 update as it's all set to make things even better. Well, there you have it. 10 things new in the all-new Fedora. Alright, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, definitely consider subscribing to the channel and leave me a big thumbs up. And if you're interested in leveling up your Linux skills, the link to my course Linux Mastery Express is given in the description below. It's designed to teach you Linux and take you from zero to hero within the shortest amount of time possible. You'll be using Linux like a pro within a matter of hours, so definitely check that out. Ubuntu's next big version 2 has released. Ubuntu 24.04 LTS aka Noble Numbat is the mega release of 2024 and I feel that it's even bigger than this Fedora release. So definitely check out this video of everything new in the new Ubuntu. There's a lot to get excited here, so don't miss that. Alright, this is Linux Techs signing out.